Get this, the Pentagon is preparing to drop $500 million, $500 million, building a new U.S. base in Israel, of course, on the Gaza border. Why are American taxpayers and potentially American troops being dragged even deeper into Israel's war? This is the story that has been circulating around. This is from Ynet. The U.S. plans $500 million base near Gaza border to support ceasefire, Israeli sources say. According to Israeli officials, the planned U.S. base along the Gaza border would house several thousand troops tasked with maintaining the ceasefire. The move signals Washington's determination to deepen its involvement in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So America first, isn't this? This is just absolutely outrageous that Donald Trump would even consider doing this. A $500 million, I am so outraged by this. I am so beyond outraged by this for a couple of reasons. First of all, just the surface stuff. A $500 million base. Why are we spending this money? I thought we were America first. Whatever happened to make America great again? Whatever happened to the America first agenda? Why are we spending $500 million on another U.S. base in a foreign country? And not only that, but we're doing this to help Israel. This is really, Israel should have the base, and Israel should be paying for it, and Israel should be dealing with this, not the United States. But the U.S. is now being asked and planning to spend more money at the behest of Israel. So there's that. That's just already on the surface. That's got to piss off a lot of people. They're going to say this money could be going to Americans. This is awful, right? But I want you to think deeper about the strategy of this and why this is just such a heinous thing for the United States to agree to and for Israel to be advocating for. And that is, Israel has been selling us a lie. And the lie that they sell us is these Arab Muslims, these Palestinians, they just hate Jews. They want to kill Jews. This is about the anti-Semitism. And there's just rampant anti-Semitism that just happens to basically, it's embedded in everybody's bones. It's in your DNA. You're born with it if you're not a Jew. You're just born with this anti-Semitism. And every once in a while, it creeps its ugly head. It rears its ugly head. It creeps out. And we gotta just tamp down on that. I mean, that's their thinking. That's what they've been selling. They know this isn't true. But they sell this because they want to play it up. Nobody wants to be called an anti-Semite, although now I don't think anybody cares. So what they've been selling to the American public is that this is a war against Jews. This is a holy war, that these Muslims just hate Jews and they're going to be killing Jews, and you got to protect the Jews. So you got to stick an international base there. The U.S. will build it. We'll put troops in from Turkey and Qatar and Saudi Arabia or wherever, right? We're going to fill it up with a bunch of troops, and they're going to be and that's what's going to happen, and it's going to be great. And we got to protect the Jews. Except they know that that's not the issue. The Palestinians don't care who is trying to steal their land. All they care about is people are trying to steal their land, and they will kill anybody who tries to steal their land. That's how it's going to go. And the Israelis know this. They know that it's not about them being Jews, and this is just rampant anti-Semitism by the Palestinians, and they're just taught to hate Jews from birth. They know it's not about that. They know it's about land theft. So they're sneaky. And they want a bunch of American soldiers, American infrastructure. They want troops from all around the world to guard and to be there so that they get killed. And then when an American troop is killed, and we get it all over American news, you can believe that the Ellison-owned media is going to be blasting all over the news. You see, the Palestinians are evil animals. They're killing Americans too. They're killing you too. We're here to save you. Don't you understand? Israel is here, and we are the last bastion of hope to save the West from these horrific Arabs who are now killing Americans. This is what they want. Because then they can rile up all the Americans, and they can get all the Americans to say, well, then we must exterminate them. I mean, that's ultimately where they're trying to lead us. They're leading us down a path of becoming genocidal and fighting their wars for them so that they don't have to do it. And that's the real play here. This isn't this is supporting a ceasefire. There's no ceasefire. The Israelis are going to do whatever the hell they want. They're going to keep stealing land. They're going to still terrorize the Palestinians, but they're going to do it with Big Brother standing there blocking and Big Brother protecting them. And then when Big Brother tries to protect them and they get killed too, then Israel could say, "Oh, see, they're animals and they're killing you too." This is part of the plan. So it is just disgusting that the United States is even considering not only spending the money, which is not an America First agenda at all. This has nothing to do with America. There is nothing that helps us with this. But the Israelis know we could get, they'll false flag it. They'll make sure Americans die. They'll make sure that they pin it on Palestinians. They'll make sure of it so that they can continue the narrative of, see, we're fighting the war for you over here. Support us, help us, exterminate them. They must die. All of them must die because look at how awful they are. They're setting us up for that. And Donald Trump, who is now officially the worst American president ever, and many of us had a lot of hope for that guy, but he has turned out to be the single worst American president ever. He really has. He's turned into the worst president. I can't. I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of a worse one. I mean, we could battle it out. I'm sure you could. Well, George W. Bush, he was a war criminal, and that's true. He was pretty bad too. There were a lot of people killed. I guess, if you're going to think of the worst president ever, I guess you'd have to do it based on how many people that got killed. And maybe George Bush does. I mean, I think he probably beats Donald Trump on that for sure. There were a lot of dead people from the Iraq War. But Trump has, I think the issue with Trump is he's just so completely disappointing. So many of us had hope that he was really going to be the answer to the establishment swamp, that he was going to drain the swamp, that he was going to, stick it to the establishment, throw the Molotov cocktail in the White House. And we just didn't get any of that. What we got was more support for Israel, more interventions around the world. He's blowing up boats in Venezuela. He's now building a base in Israel. He's got all kinds of. He hasn't been able to end the war with Russia and Ukraine. He just hasn't done any of these things, and he's made things worse. Worse for Americans. Worse for our future. Worse for the morale of the country. It's just been really. I think he's the most. Maybe I should say he's the most disappointing president. The most disappointing president. If they go along with this, he will have turned completely on his base, and he knows it. He doesn't care. He's not up for another election. He knows that. He's not going to be president again. He doesn't care. He doesn't need your vote anymore. The Republicans around him need the vote, but they're not going to get it. Democrats are going to win. You could gear up for President AOC. She's coming because Trump is so bad that not only is he been and then maybe you could say he's the worst president ever because he ushered in a wave of extremist Democrats who got to take over because people didn't want to vote for Republicans because Republicans completely let them down. When so many independents rallied and they were completely let down. I don't know. I'm curious. What do you think? Is he the worst American president ever? There's many you could probably look at and list. Or do you think he's the most disappointing president ever? Share with me in the comments below. What you think about Trump, but this is outrageous. A $500 million base at the Gaza border to support the ceasefire. We want fewer bases, not more bases, and we certainly don't want a U.S.-built base in Israel. We give them enough. It is time to wean from the tit, Israel. Get out of here. I think more and more Americans, you're just an anti-Semite. That's what it is. You don't want a build a $500 million base built in Israel, you anti-Semite. That's what you are. Totally and completely unbelievable, putting American lives at risk or just wasting American tax dollars. We don't want to be involved. Do not spend our money. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.